No camera, Jake?
Josh said I could do audio. I mean, I could
Nah, dude,
turn on my...
whatever you want.
I could turn on my... I'm chilling. I don't really have... This room is a mess. This is our storage room / Jake's gaming room, so...
My room's a mess. I've just conveniently placed things in a way that it doesn't look like that on the webcam.
I think my MacBook might have just shit the bed. No, I'm on my phone. Oh, yeah, never mind. We're up. But no, I'm using my phone for Discord.
Jake, is your last name Rain or Storms? I always forget.
Brother, you cannot be serious.
Dude.
It's Storms.
It's Storms, okay. I mean, I feel like Storms and Rain are equally probable or improbable last names to have.
One's a sick last name and one's a sick nickname.
True. All right, Josh, just let me know when the bot is rolling.
Now recording.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Real quick, do we know if there's a hard cap on when it stops recording? Because okay, cool. You can mute the bot, but I would just leave it here and let it ride, I guess. Excuse me. Ugh, I should never eat right before the pod. I feel like I'm gonna have to burp a lot. Yeah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Unintentional Grounding Podcast, episode 16. My name is Ian Wind. I'm with Josh Hoffman, my co-host, as always, and not as always. We have a special guest with us today. Jake, what's going on, my man?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Josh, why don't you talk real quick about who Jake is? Obviously, I know him. Audience doesn't. How you know him, and why he's on the pod today.
Uh, 2020, mid-COVID.
Yeah, I'm super excited that you're on, Jake. Obviously, especially because the Giants won against the Vikings last week, and they're going to be playing another NFC East team this coming week in the divisional round. But we were planning on having you on anyway to talk about League of Villains at some point. So good to be able to do both at once here. So before we talk about the matchups for the divisional round, I just wanted to ask both of you if you had any sort of big takeaways or thoughts from what you watched in the wildcard weekend, which was a lot of fun.
I think one thing that's going to come out after this postseason is that Josh Allen's elbow is going to be a bigger issue than it's being led on to be. it was just, I mean, they got the win, but it was just a pretty ugly win, and I I don't know if that team is going to make it past the divisional round. I would definitely be tense going into this matchup this weekend.
Honestly, Josh was just referencing, we talked about it. When I was talking to him about Allen and thought he wouldn't have another bad game, I totally didn't think about the elbow angle. So that's a really good point. That seems like it could be a good explanation for why he's been so bad, because I mean, Josh Allen does have a history of being like this guy who's like, on the one hand, pretty insane, but then does, stupid things or really makes really bad throws sometimes. And maybe the elbow is a big factor there, and it's just not being talked about. So that is something that is, I don't know. I guess we should be paying attention to that when we watch the game this coming weekend. Um,
It's definitely not the same Josh Allen that we were accustomed to in the beginning of the season, and it's all really coming up after that injury. So I definitely think that that's a key component in what's happening. It's
yeah,
definitely going to be a matchup. I personally think that 49ers are the team to beat. If I were to put money on who's going to win the Super Bowl, I would honestly throw it on the 49ers. But yeah, the Cowboys definitely looked great over the weekend, and it should definitely be a good matchup.
yeah. Well, so why don't we just get right into that matchup then, since we're talking about it? I'm right there with you, Jake. Like, and I think Josh and I both had the same prediction as well, which was that, if we had to pick a team to win the Super Bowl before the wild card weekend, we both picked the 49ers, just because they're so complete. Unless you want to have, take issue with Brock Purdy, not being maybe an elite quarterback, but we'll see, we'll see how he plays against better defenses. But yeah, let's talk about that one first. I feel like the Cowboys are going to be very live in this game. Both fan bases travel well, so it's not like 49ers having a home field advantage in California is super meaningful per se. And yeah, I think I took the Cowboys like at +4.5, just because like I am a little skeptical that Brock Purdy can continue to play up to the level that he's played at so far. And I was saying that the Cowboys defense has weaknesses that are different than the Seahawks defense, but by and large, their defense as a whole is much better than the Seahawks. And so I think, and also like the 49ers are less familiar with the Cowboys in general, even though they did play them in the playoffs last year. But Brock Purdy specifically is unfamiliar with them, So it's just, I do think the 49ers are justified favorites. I think, as everyone pretty much agrees, but I totally see a scenario where the Cowboys get this upset. I think the main thing that gives me pause, though, is that Mike McCarthy traditionally just hasn't been a very good playoff coach, whereas Kyle Shanahan is. So that's kind of my take on it. I am really interested to see how much success Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers run game has as a whole against this Cowboys defense. So that's probably the main thing I'm going to be looking at. And then obviously Purdy, we're going to have to see how he plays. Yeah.
I mean, Cowboys are definitely up there with the Eagles. Like, I think that either one of them could be interchangeable for our division. So Cowboys are definitely one of the best teams in the league, and they really showed it last week. They had a great game. Everyone did well. I think that going off of what Ian said, coaching is going to be a big part of it. I think that Kyle Shanahan is just a better minded coach, and Mike McCarthy is really going to have to step up and try to stop everything that Shanahan's going to be doing.
Which, like, I want to say I don't have faith in McCarthy to do that, especially because of last year's playoff matchup between these two. But every year is different, and it really seems like the Cowboys came with like a perfect game plan against the Bucs. And so if they can somehow, if whatever process they're using to create these game plans, when they watch film of the other team, like maybe their approach this year is better. Yeah, I don't completely. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he missed a couple games earlier in the year with the finger injury or hand injury of some sort, but he's been playing for a while now. I guess the flip side of what I'm saying, though, just to play devil's advocate with myself, is that the Bucs are just not that good of a team, and obviously the 49ers are a very good team. So, I guess it is kind of hard to know, like, how much do we take from the Cowboys from that last game. But I just think that, like, look, I love to make fun of Dak. You both know this. Brian and I say the Dak Prescott special every time he throws an interception. But he's still, like, better than Brock Purdy, like in a playoff game. If you ask me which quarterback would I rather have, I'm still taking Dak. So quarterback is so influential on how these games go. And I don't know. I kind of like the Cowboys, but it's almost one of those things where it's like, you think that, and then they get smoked, I just feel like the 49ers secondary is vulnerable.
Well, yeah, I was going to bring up the point that the 49ers definitely had some blown coverages against the Seahawks. But I think that important thing that's not being taken into account yet is that 49ers have a solid 2 days extra of prep for the whereas the Cowboys have, 5 days?
That's huge.
And going off of what Ian said, Tampa Bay really wasn't a super scary opponent. I don't think that anyone was really afraid of them coming into the playoffs. So I still think that the Niners are going to come out on top, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I can't believe that we're here. Josh, you and I were talking about it yesterday, and you disagreed with me, which is something that we do a lot. But coming into this season, most analysts were not saying the Giants were going to be good. I mean, I was seeing 3-14, 5-12, and it's just amazing to see that we're here now, and it really is just, to me, all on the shoulders of Dabble and what he's done with this team and the coaching's just been fantastic. And I don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen on any given week, but even if we take a very hard L, this season was a win for us. Aziz got hurt last week. I'm not sure what the extent of was that. Who? No, not that I know of. I think that he's all set. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But yeah, Aziz has been injured a lot. But actually, last week was the first time all season that there was no one on the injury report. So actually, this is, I mean, other than Aziz, as far as I know, this is the healthiest we've been all season.
I actually want to go off that real quick because Josh, you mentioned that they went 9-7-1 in the regular season, which obviously the record in and of itself exceeded expectations for the Giants. But the context is when you add the injury context over the course of the season to that record, it's even more impressive. Like the Giants lost tons of people to injury throughout the year. Some of them came back, some of them didn't. I mean, we all know what, the wide receiver core with Wandale out for the season, Sterling Shepard out for the season. Both of those guys. Slayton. Yeah, Slayton's playing, but those two guys those two wide receivers were playing well, and they're out for the season, and it's just like the next guy steps up. Like I feel like 4 weeks ago, I had no idea who Isaiah Hodgins was, and like now he's catching touchdowns in playoff games, and like he's getting, like I was watching the game, and I don't remember who I was telling this to, whether it was a group chat that we're in or someone else, but I was just like thinking to myself, like Isaiah Hodgins gets a ton of separation. Like he's like legitimately a good wide receiver who I expect will be on the team making plays next year, right? Like I don't know.
Absolutely.
I think this is a testament. Pause. Where'd he go? You want to check right now if you have the first audio file? Should we go to Skype real quick? It's probably the easiest solution. Just open it real quick and see where the file ended. like listen to it and see if it picked up till the end.
Yeah, Josh, just so you know, Kayvon was not hurt. Playing that, going off of what Ian said, it's going to coaching is going to be a big part of it. I think that Kyle Shanahan is just a better minded talks. No one on the injury report. So actually, this is, I mean, other than Aziz, as far as I know, this is the healthiest we've been all season.
Slayton. Yeah, yeah. I always get them mixed up.
Expect will be on the team making plays next year, right? Like I don't know. Okay, so well, maybe sure, yeah. I just know that Skype is dependable. That's the only thing.
Let me download Skype then. I'm down to go to Skype. Let me download it real quick. I don't think I've Skyped someone since I was in high school.
All right. Should I pull up? I'll pull it up then.
All right, I have Skype, so whenever you guys want to switch over.
Yeah, I'm on.
No, I'm logged in. My user is JStorms1995. Yes. 1995. I don't know why it says that. Is it pink and it says LI as my profile picture? Yeah, that's me. No, I did not.
Oh wait. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna leave the Discord.